Ever wondered whom to trust on this wide web? Well, fear no more. Connect.me wants to change the game on how people find and trust each other online. Your profile on ConnectMe is like a social business card proven authentic by other people who vouch for you. The more vouchers you get, the more trustworthy you are in your fields of interest, skills, and passion. At the time of this interview, ConnectMe was in private beta, meaning you have to be invited or vouched for by a current user. Check out the website and see for yourself. Who knows? If you're trustworthy enough, someone in your widespread network might already have vouched for you. We have Mark and Joe here with us, both founders of this new referral network. Well, it's kind of a premiere. Two extraordinary gentlemen at the same time in our X-Week special interviews. Welcome to you both. Mark, Joe, please give us a short roundup. What's your role at ConnectMe? Maybe you start, Mark?
Mark, go ahead.
Sure. So there's actually three co-founders of ConnectMe. Joe and I are two of them. And I basically manage operations as well as financing and partnerships for ConnectMe.
Okay, I see. And you, Joe, you're more the technical wizard kind of person?
Yeah, I'm the technical guy as well as CEO. So I'm managing the product vision and the development team.
So there might be even two answers to my next question, each from your personal point of view. Compared to other networks based on the concept of referral, where exactly is the difference to ConnectMe? What makes ConnectMe so different?
Jumping right
Joe,
into
you want to take that, or yeah, that is you're jumping straight into the heart of the issue. We're not dancing around it. So essentially, you take other influence, say Cred or ProScore or Cloud or something like that, and they actually are trying to measure influence. So how much you actually change the actions of others based off your tweeting, your blogging, your sharing, things like that. ConnectMe is actually not in that space at all. We try not to be. We are what we call a personal recommendation network. So being able to both identify as well as aggregate all the people that you trust and the ways that you trust them so that you can then get recommendations from them and be able to search through all the people that they trust and recommend in any category or any tag. So very, very different than, say, a Clout or a Cred. Furthermore, theirs are based almost 100% on algorithmic data, and ours are based on peer-generated data. So it's kind of crowdsourced, if you will.
Okay, I see. Another point to this one from your side, Joe?
No. Actually, I would like to add something. So, one of the reasons we actually started ConnectMe is that the social web is growing exponentially, right? And in the next 4 years is projected to quadruple. And if you look out there, all the ways that people are the experts basically are telling new people coming online, say, well, if you want to be found, if you want to sort of self-promote, you need to produce a lot more content. And fundamentally, that just produces so much more noise. And that works well for sort of this algorithmic approach. But at the end of the day, you're still finding a lot of content, or you still offline are calling up your friends and asking for recommendations. So we're trying to mirror that process and try to increase the signal rather than increase the noise.
So my benefit as a user is kind of an insurance that the guy I recently discovered on the web is the specialist he claims to be?
Yeah, that's part of it. Being able to see who you know in common and being able to see sort of the relative reputation of that person. So a big thing that what we're doing, especially in the new product, is really surfacing up who are the people that I know who have really recommended this person and what do we actually have in common. That creates just kind of a jumping off point for discovering a lot of content and a lot of other people around it. So right now we're very much focused on this sort of initial people aspect of it. But at the end of the day, it's a very, very powerful recommendation and discovery engine.
Okay, I see. Trust is the magic word, right? Your respected trust framework and the 4 levels of it, right? Could you explain
Absolutely.
that a little bit, the concept of that one?
Sure. So there's a lot of different things people are doing out there with regard to trust online. Primarily, they're focused around verification. So are you who you say you are? You put your name in, you verify your cell phone, you verify, say, your bank account or your address and things like that. And they're checking off public databases. But what ConnectMe is really, the flip side of that coin is, how trusted are you by your peers? And trust is also very contextual. So it's not that you're just inherently trustworthy, but you're trustworthy within certain categories. So I might trust my accountant for accounting because he does a great job, but I might not trust him to babysit my children. I don't know. Trust is very contextual that way. And so we're really trying to help solve that portion of the problem, not based off purely verified data or, what's your, I don't know, your credit score or things like that.
All right, gentlemen, let's hear something about your background. How did you team up, and was there any trigger for this idea of Connect Me?
Yeah, great question. We actually met through a mutual friend and one of our investors in Seattle. And Mark had just come back from a year abroad, which he can talk about. And I had actually just come out of acquisition of previous startup, and then I was studying a lot of these sort of social media problems from the nonprofit space, because they have an incredible incentive to be tightly networked online. And to start sort of tackling these actually real world large problems. So we were studying the same problem kind of from different angles, and then just had this sort of fateful meeting up in Seattle, and that kind of kicked off the initial process. Mark, you want to talk about what you were working on?
Yeah, so at the time I was focused on an e-commerce company that I started had almost a decade ago. And what we had noticed was, while we were spending over $1 million just on AdWords and trying to get SEO results, we were actually still getting the majority of our business from referrals. So people that use the product and tell their friends about it, essentially. And we felt like the whole industry was kind of like that, where now most recent surveys say 88% of people actually check online reviews before they buy a product. Well, that was not the case a year ago. Right, that number just went through the roof. So they're essentially looking for referrals where kind of none exist, or certainly not very credible ones. And that's the other issue with trust around referrals, is that same study actually showed that 2/3 of those people don't inherently trust the reviews that they're reading on products, but they're still doing it because that's the only place they can turn. They're a little bit sick of just getting completely inundated with ads and saying that is the reason that I decided to do work with somebody or go to a restaurant or go to or buy a product, for example. And so referrals, we think, really are the future. It's more personal, and it really can revolve around trust.
I see. What's the current status of Connect Me? Are you satisfied with your product, or is there something that bothers you?
Well, actually, yeah, we've been very heads down for the past couple months building out the next version of Connect Me. Well, what we did in terms of the product timeline is we launched the initial bit and kept it in private beta, really as kind of an experiment to figure out what do we actually need, how is the online community going to respond to this, and what kind of tools do they actually need. And from what we learned there, we went back and started building our trust platform. And that's what we've been working very hard on for the next couple months, and are going to release the next version later in June.
All right, so tell us something about it. What will the new version be like?
So yeah, it's a complete re-architecture. It's a similar concept. There's still vouching, there's still people in it, but it's a much more powerful engine on being able to consolidate all the people you know through your existing social networks, auto tag them, as well as you can go in and start tagging and vouching for people. So it makes it very kind of fluid and fun to find people you're looking for in your extended social graph, as well as to see who they're vouching for. What comes next out of that is the ability to find products, services, and websites, right? Because you're going in and you're vouching for these people, you now have this very strong indicator that, hey, I really respect Olaf for social media. And if he says something about social media online, then I want that to be able to bubble up. So what we can do then is we can start taking your reputation that others have applied to you on Connect Me, and we can start applying your reputation to content you're sharing. And that's where it gets really, really interesting.
All right, so maybe Mark, I want to ask that question because trust and referrals are very nice, but how about the monetizing side of things? What's the concept behind that?
That's interesting. You should ask that. So, right now we're not focused on monetization. We're really focused on, Joe's focused on, and team, building a fantastic technology that's incredibly scalable and can really meet the needs of people that are coming on. And a lot of those needs got very surfaced within the private beta. And we want to, of course, get more and more people using ConnectMe and really using it for all the things that we just talked about. Then we really want to flip the current equation. And the current equation is that today, other people, other companies are getting the value of your personal data and your reputation. And they do that basically by kind of tracking your behavior online and seeing what kind of actions you're doing and trying to create an implicit interest graph and things like that. And then they sell that information to advertisers who then target you with ads. What we really want to do is, again, flip that. We don't want to mine your data. ConnectMe, in fact, won the Privacy Award last year for this business model in that we're not mining your data. Instead, we want to give people that are users of ConnectMe a way to actually get a value of their data, the value for their reputation. So let me just give you a quick example, and I won't go into too much detail with these, but I have a plus 29 right now in natural health. So if I'm going to interact with a business who's in fact selling a natural health product, they can now see that and they say, oh, Mark actually is somebody that a lot of people trust in that category. And so he'll probably, if he likes our product, he'll be talking to other people about it because they trust him for that. So therefore, we really want him as a customer, and we don't have to actually advertise to him. We just have to provide a great experience and a great product, and he'll keep coming back because he loves natural health. So there's some things where users will be able to get, say, a personal price based off of that.
Let's come to the last question for today. In your personal opinion, is there something like a golden rule when it comes to improving your online reputation? Is it like in the real world? Is it like be yourself, or is it something different?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most interesting thing that we've seen to date with ConnectMe is that there's a very, very strong desire for people to appear as their whole selves. So it's not just me as this professional person and I'm a developer and entrepreneur and that's it. I want to also show that, these are my hobbies and these are my interests, because ultimately that's how people are connecting and deciding whether they want to work together or interact. So absolutely, be yourself and surround yourself with really interesting, really good people.
And same with you, Mark, yeah?
Absolutely. Authenticity, that's the key. And it's actually very inherent in the only action you can take today on ConnectMe, which is a vouch. Saying, I trust this person in this category, and I essentially recommend them as well. And doing that authentically makes a huge difference in how you interact with everyone around you, because if they'll do it in return the same way, it's just kind of a reciprocation in that manner.
All right. Thanks a lot, Joe and Mark, and see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Really
Looking forward to seeing the video.
Bye-bye. Yeah.